There's some more breaking news, one of those days around here, this time from Lev Parnas's attorney, Joseph Bondy. He sent a letter to Mitch McConnell, I assume making another effort to have more information, more witnesses as part of this fateful decision. Here's a quote from that letter from the attorney to Lev Parnas to Mitch McConnell. Quote, if Lev Parnas was called as a witness, he would provide testimony based upon personal knowledge corroborated by physical evidence, including text messages, phone records, documentary evidence, and travel records, which is directly relevant to the president's impeachment inquiry. Joyce, how do you turn down another witness with firsthand knowledge?
This is a prosecutor's dream, right? You've actually got Lev Parnas and John Bolton in a bidding war over who gets to be your star witness. This is not to make too much of it, because I know we call a lot of things amazing and remarkable. These are now two witnesses with firsthand testimony. We all remember that week where the president complained that we needed to hear firsthand testimony, and we weren't. These are two firsthand testimony witnesses, and the Senate wants to close its doors before it hears from them. After seeing these letters and these proffers, you can't.
Nicole, he also names names.
Yeah. What do you got? I gave you, we show our work up here. We spread the letter around. David did some of this for me.
Yeah, so the letter is essentially Parnas' attorney saying, if you call him to testify, this is what he will say. In addition to your point of providing material evidence, he says Mr. Parnas would testify to the efforts he and a handful of Republican operatives engaged in over a period of months to remove Ambassador Yovanovitch and gather dirt on Joe and Hunter Biden. Mr. Parnas would testify that those holding various roles in this plot included the GOP Super PAC America First, President Donald Trump, Vice President Pence, former Energy Secretary Rick Perry, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, Attorney General Bill Barr, Senator Lindsey Graham, Congressman Devin Nunes, Nunes' staffer Derek Harvey, journalist John Solomon, attorneys Joe DeGeneva, Victor Tensing, and Mr. Giuliani.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
I mean, naming names and implicating our country. I mean, this is where it all goes from political calculations and slicing and dicing to truly frightening and uncharted national security territory. Lev Parnas, I believe the allegation is that they all had knowledge of Donald Trump's quid pro quo, of Donald Trump's effort to get dirt on the Bidens from the leader of Ukraine. So if he's saying that Barr, the Vice President Pence, the Energy Secretary, and the President were all involved, and the Senate passes this up, and all that comes out, all the President's men are implicated, what happens next?
Look, I don't know that. So, first of all, we have never seen a conspiracy of this size at the top of government. Closest we came was Richard M. Nixon. And, you know, fortunately, the Republican Party flipped on him, rightly so. The reality is there's plenty of circumstantial evidence to already implicate all these people, right? I mean, William Barr himself was somehow directly involved in the decision around the whistleblower complaint being blocked from Congress. We know he flew around the world to dig up dirt in his own investigation. He denigrated the Government Accounting Office's investigation that found that Donald Trump violated the law, said he disagreed with it, which was incredible, had a whole nother investigation going. I mean, there's no question that, and I'm not even going through all the others because that evidence has been talked about over and over again in the impeachment trial itself.
Well, you know, I'm just told McConnell's still holed up in his office. So hit pause and take us through. I mean, and again, Parnas's credibility will be evaluated by everyone in charge of adjudicating justice. But we're talking about not even getting to that step.
Well, this is the key, is that he said he had corroborating evidence, because I would not take Lev Parnas at his word. I would want that evidence. One quick thing before we hear from Michael that I just want to underscore. When Mr. Bondy did the interview with Rachel Maddow, one of the things that we heard, I didn't personally hear it, but that they heard on the tape that he played, which, if authenticated, has Donald Trump asking how long Ukraine could last without U.S. support a year before this conspiracy.
Counselor, he summed that up. I mean, that's perfectly the point. And to your point about the room right now, that room just got a lot hotter. If this letter just hit, and in addition to what they were already talking about with Bolton, the majority leader now finds himself in a very, very difficult spot. because, again, from Parnas' standpoint, just like Bolton, you don't want to hear me, I'll just put it on the street. And there are a whole lot of storytellers that will listen to it. Now, everybody likes to discount Parnas, and yeah, he's a questionable guy. But when a questionable guy comes to the table with receipts, and he's willing to put not just his name out there, but all that goes with this. I mean, there's a lot of risk that he takes, too. He's got a case in front of the Southern District of New York, and everybody said, well, you're trying to cut a deal. That may or may not work to his favor in that regard.
Didn't help Michael Cohen.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.